Yes, ma'am.
Okay. PPT is visible?
No,
Hello?
ma'am. PPT is not visible.
Okay. What about now? My PPT is visible now?
Yes, ma'am. All the
Okay.
participants, please pin ma'am's presentation on your screen.
Okay. Very good evening to one and all. Myself, Dr. Suketa Kumari, Associated Professor at KLE's BM Kankanavadi Ayurveda Mahavidyalaya, Karnataka. It's my privilege to be a part of today's online lecture series organized by Nepal Ayurveda Medical Students Association. Um, the topic which was allotted me is Prameha. First, we'll go to the introduction. What is Prameha? Prameha is a disease explained by all the Brahatrayis and Lagutrayis, and it is called to be one of the Mahagada. The Prameha is a syndrome described in Ayurveda. It is a Tridoshaja Vyadhi. Since it is a Tridoshaja Vyadhi, all the doshas were involved. But in the when you go to the predominance of the doshas, Kapha will be told as the principal dosha involved. And when you go to the doshas or dhatus vitiated, Medas is the principal dosha involved here. So, Kapha associated with Meda vitiation produces a disease called Prameha. So, in while going to the definition of Prameha, Ashtanga Hridayakara says that the author of Ashtanga Hridaya, he says, Pruchrena Prabhuta Avilamutrata, the person who passes urine in excessive quantity and which is not concentrated or dilute urine. So this kind of diagnostic feature is found in Prameha, where urinary symptom has been explained. The person who passes urine more in quantity and it is more dilute in nature. So this is the presentation of Prameha called as Prakarshena Mehati iti Prameha, the disease where patient passes urine frequently. So we can concern with the disease of urinary abnormalities here, and the disease of Medo Dushti, the dhatu which is called as Medas has been Dushti, and also along with that Kapha is the Dushti involved here, or we can say Kapha dosha is also vitiated. Along with that, the Meda dosha which is involved here. So, in a combination of these two, the Prameha disease has been manifested. So, what is the nature of Shleshma here or Kapha here? Kapha here present with Bahudravatva or drava quality of the or the liquid quality of the Shleshma has been increased in this disease. This is called as Prameha. Okay. In a nutshell, what is Prameha? It is a syndrome specific explained by all the acharyas, and it is a well known disease of Ayurveda where Kapha is the principal dosha involved and ultimately Medas is the main dosha involved. Even though Medas and Kapha is involved, there are about total 12 doshas have been explained in Prameha Samprapti or etiopathogenesis. They are Kapha Pradhana 3 doshas, involvement of all the 3 doshas, especially Kapha is involved. Along with that, Abadha Medas, the Medas which is not properly formed, is also involved. And other doshas like Mamsa or Mamsadhatu, Kleda in excess or Udaka, Shukra, Shonita, Vasa, Majja, Lasika, and lastly, Ojas is also involved. So this is the presentation of Prameha. Okay, the quotation which is explained as a definition of prameha is prakarshena mehati iti prameha, and also the prameha disease which manifests as prabhuta avinamutrata or increased quantity of urination with dilute urine. This is the presentation of prameha. So all the acharyas have been called prameha as a mahagada or the bigger disease. So there is nothing hesitation to tell it as mahagada, because this disease have gradual involvement of all the three doshas. There are multiple doshas involved, and it is vasti marma gatajanya vyadhi, or there is involvement of vasti marma. There are three marmas. Among that, vasti is the one which is involved here, hence it is called mahagada. Chirakaritva, the disease has chronic nature, and it is kulaja vyadhi. It is hereditary nature disease, and it present with upadravas or complications, and the treatment of this disease is very difficult when it attains chronicity, hence it is called as mahagada. Okay, so for your understanding point of view, I have taken its correlation with conventional classification. So when you go through the symptomatology of the prameha, how can be understood in different classifications. There are classification like sahaja prameha, apatya nimittaja prameha, tula prameha, krisha prameha, might have been heard in your studies. So what I would like to classify is for understanding purpose, and it is well understood also, and it is already established that sahaja prameha can be correlated to type 1 diabetes mellitus because of its symptomatology. And one more classification, that is apatya nimittaja prameha. Apatya nimittaja prameha is produced due to ahita ahara vihara or faulty dietary habits, due to intake of diet and habits which are not suitable for your body, or it is sedentary lifestyle, or intake of food which are sweet, etc., is going to cause apatya nimittaja prameha, can be correlated to type 2 diabetes mellitus. When you go to the symptomatology like bad smell from the body, and atisveda or excessive sweating, when you go to the and stulata or obesity, when you look into that, the staulya kind of close tie is also understood. And there is one more name comes called madhumeha, has been explained as one type of vataja prameha, can be correlated to terminal stage of type 2 diabetes mellitus, where chronicity has arisen, and type 2 with complication stage can be taken. And another side, all the acharyas like Sushruta, Charaka, Vagbhata is also explained 20 subtypes of prameha. They are like Kafaja 10 types of prameha, for example Udakameha, Sandrameha, etc. Subtypes of pramehas have been explained, which can be correlated to urinary symptoms developed in different conditions. Okay, so among that, glycosuria is can be correlated, which is nothing but uncomplicated diabetes mellitus. And when you look into the pittaja prameha, inflammatory condition involved in the metabolic syndrome or DM with infection can be taken. And when you look into the kafaja prameha, 10 types, when you look into that, diabetes mellitus with the nephropathy features can be understood. So this is how we have to correlate prameha to understand it better and to treat it accordingly. Okay, so this classification I'll explain in the future slides. So this is the brief idea of how Sushruta has classified, how Ashtanga Hridayakara has classified, and how Charaka Samhita has classified prameha. So even though they have classified it different names, they are one and the other are same. Okay, for example, Sahaja prameha told by Sushruta, and Dhatukshaja prameha told by Vagbhata, and Krisha prameha told by Charaka are same. Okay, So when you look into the Sushruta Samhita, Sahaja Prameha and Apatya Nimittaja Prameha are the classification broadly. So Sahaja Prameha as it indicates Matra Pitra Bija Doshakrita Prameha, and person will be Ruksha, Alpashi, Pipasu, Parisaranashila. I'll explain what is this. Matra Pitta Bija Doshakrita means the disease have hereditary nature. The disease which comes from offsprings is called as Sahaja Prameha. Along with that, person will have some of the clinical features told in classics such as Rukshata, dryness will be more. Alpashi, person will have less appetite. Pipasu, he is always thirsty. Parisaranashila, person have wandering nature. If such features are there, then it is called as Sahaja Prameha. Next one is Apatya Nimittaja Prameha is due to Ahita Ahara Viharaja or faulty dietary habits and lifestyle habits. The person will have features of Stulata, is more or obese. Bahuashi, or he is called as frequent eater, he eats more. Shayasana Supna Shila, person want to sit and sleep always, is the characteristic feature of Apatya Nimittaja Prameha. So this is the broad classification. So simultaneously, Ashtanga Hridaya has explained Avaranaja Prameha and Dhatukshaja Prameha. To correlate that, Dhatukshaja Prameha can be said as Sahaja Prameha, where depletion of Dhatus will be there, and Avaranaja Prameha is Apatya Nimittaja Prameha or faulty dietary habits causing Avarana, occlusion of Vata by other two doshas, that is Pitta and Kapha produces Avaranaja Prameha. Okay, so why occlusion takes place? Because of Ahita Ahara Vihara or sedentary lifestyle or improper dietary habits, and he is having sedentary habits will going to cause avarana in the body, and that is called as Apatya Nimittaja Prameha. And lastly, coming to the Charaka Samhita, there are two categories again. Stula Pramehi again goes to obese type, that is Stula Bahuvashi Shayashana Supnashila, that is Apatya Nimittaja Prameha. And Krisha Prameha is emaciated or he is thin, can be correlated to Sahaja Prameha. So in a nutshell, I would like to classify all acharyas in a one frame, that is Sahaja Prameha can be Dhatukshaja Prameha or Krisha Prameha. You can call it in any way, and Apatya Nimittaja Prameha can be Stula Prameha or Avaranaja Prameha. So there are different names can be told by acharyas. For treatment point of view, to understanding the pathophysiology, you have to name it in these ways. Okay, Sahaja can be Dhatukshaja and he can be a Krisha Pramehi. Apatya Nimittaja can be Stula Pramehi and it is Avaranaja Prameha. So all the acharyas combined in a this classification. Okay, so hope you understood what is the classification of Prameha. For my understanding point of view, for my convenience, I have taken Sahaja and Apatya Nimittaja as a whole in my presentation. So hope you will understand what exactly I am conveying you. Okay. So first one is Sahaja Prameha, which I already said, it is Matra Pitra Beja Doshakrita, the disease which comes from offsprings or the gene through genetics. The disease will come, it can be autoimmune, that is type 1 diabetes, or it can be Kulaja Prameha, or it is said as hereditary nature of the disease. You may be surprised to know, type 2 also sometimes comes with hereditary nature. Okay, might be heard that if a father had diabetes, son is also developing type 2 diabetes. So that is nothing but the environmental factor which is influencing, that is causing type 2 diabetes, and called as the same type of habits developed by the family can be influenced or little bit genetic also. So you have to understand properly what kind of diabetes has been developed, whether it is Sahaja or Apatya Nimittaja. So Sahaja is over. Now we move on to Apatya Nimittaja. As you all know what is Apatya Nimittaja, there are two classifications, Avarana in Apatya Nimittaja and Dhatukshaya. Avarana leading to Dhatukshaya. Avarana means occlusion of Vata by Pitta or Kapha, and in Dhatukshaya, due to occlusion, Vata get emaciated in future time or in the due course of time, leading to Vata Prakopa. So this is how the presentation takes place. So what are the in Avaranaja Madhumeha, there are again different classification. When Pitta get Avarana to Vata, leading to Pittavrita Madhumeha. When Kapha get Avarana to Vata, leading to Kaphavrita Prameha. When both get Avarana to Vata, that is Kapha and Pitta, they lead to Kapha Pittavrita Avarana. Okay, so when Pitta is aggravated and along with Vata, so because of Pitta's Avarana, or when it occludes Vata, leading to Pittavrita, and when it Kapha is aggravated along with Vata and does Kapha Avarana to Vata, leading to Kaphavrita Madhumeha. And when both will get aggravated and does the avarana to Vata or occlusion to Vata, leading to Kapha Pitta Avrita Avaranaja Madhumeha. So this is how the Apatya Nimittaja Madhumeha manifest. There is avarana presentation. In a due course of time, this avarana finally going to end up with Dhatukshaya or emaciation. Even though this Pitta Kapha avarana takes place, and simultaneously what happens is the occluded Vata will not able to work properly because of avarana, and in a due course of time or as chronicity progresses, this Vata will get because of Prakopa or aggravated Vata individually will going to produce emaciation or Dhatukshaya stage. So this is the final presentation of Dhatukshaya. Okay, so Avarana finally leading to Dhatukshaya. So this is the explanation regarding Apatya Nimittaja Prameha, Avarana and Avarana leading to Dhatukshaya. Okay. Hope you understood the classification, Sahaja and Apatya Nimittaja, and its sub-classification. Now I'll explain what are the probable clinical features you will develop when you appear in the clinic. So what are the clinical features it develops due to Pittavrita Madhumeha? I have made the concise picture of how the Pittavrita Madhumeha manifest or present. Usually age group of between 30 to 40 years will always have Pittavrita Madhumeha, and they will be in moderate build, not huge build. They will be in moderate build. And when you go to the symptoms of Pittavrita Madhumeha, they have Atitrishna, Atisveda and excessive hunger. They will be having more or we can say polyuria, polydipsia and polyphagia features of Madhumeha. They will be have thirsty, and Atisveda will be there, excessive sweating and excessive hunger. And Brahma, or it is called as giddiness feature, Tama or darkness in front of the eyes are the occasional symptoms. Daha, burning hands and feet, smell from the body, balanitis or itis or the infections of different infection presentation will be seen are the symptoms of Pittavrita Madhumeha. When you go to the when you look into the signs, the person will be having loose flabby skin appearance will be there. So this is the presentation of Pittavrita Madhumeha. So when Vata get avarana by Pitta, Vata's action will be suppressed and Pitta's actions or Pitta's symptoms will be aggravated because Avaraka is more strong. So because of that, these features will be seen. Usually happens between age group of adult onset with a moderate built person with the following features such as polyuria, polydipsia, polyphagia will be there. Tama or the darkness, or patient will be having giddiness, burning sensation, smell from the body, balanitis, etc. features. Okay. When you go to the Kaphavrita Madhumeha, the features are like age group of between 40 to 59 years, and childhood and adolescence are usually developed with Kaphavrita Madhumeha. Person will be having huge build or called as central obesity, and signs and symptoms being snigdhata, oiliness, heaviness, constipated, dullness or slowness in action, laziness, sticky malas or sticky excretas on the body. Person will be having weak digestive power, lethargy, and apathy will be there. Okay, so these are the signs and symptoms which develop due to kaphavrita madhumeha. Okay, so kapha which dosha which will occlude vata in madhumeha, leading to following features. Okay, like person will be having central obesity followed by age group of about 40 to 59 years is common. Person will be always overweight or obese category, and the children's and obese adolescents will have this problem. Nowadays we can see the children's are always obese, most of the children's being obese, and simultaneously having symptoms of diabetes or diagnosed with diabetes with following features like they have oiliness, heaviness in the body, always constipated, dullness or slow in action. They are not active, and laziness will be there, and excreta collects in the body as classified in the acharyas, or weak digestive power will be there, and lethargy, dull, apathy. Okay, so this is about kaphavrita madhumeha. So, before going to the Samprapti, I just want to highlight you one thing, that when Meda Dushti, Kapha and Meda are the dearest friends, or we can say Kapha is vitiated, ultimately it is going to vitiate Medas. So when the Kapha is vitiated, Medas is also get vitiated. This is the presentation in Prameha. But one step is there in Prameha where Medo Yadi na Pradushtam, or Medas will not get vitiated and only other urinary symptom will be seen. That is called as Medo Yadi na Pradushtam, as explained in Charaka, or else Medo Pradushtam. So if Kapha is vitiated and Medas is vitiated, that is going to give rise to Prameha Purva Rupas. If Medas is not vitiated, that is not going to give Lakshanas of Prameha. You might be knowing that diabetes patient comes to you with no symptoms. Only they say, my blood report says that I am developing diabetes, but I don't have any symptoms. So the nature of disease is, disease will be silent for many years. Okay, so initially it will not produce any symptoms, but when chronicity appears, it will start developing complications. That is the symptoms of diabetes. But initial stage there is no symptoms. That is called as Medo Yadina Pradushtam and Medo Pradushtam. What is Medo Yadina Pradushtam? There is no vitiation of Medas. Until vitiation of Medas is not there, Prameha Purva Rupa will not develop. Okay, this you have to keep in mind. That's why diabetic patients will be asymptomatic for a long duration of time. Silent killer, or diabetes can be said as silent killer, because it will not produce any symptoms, but it inside it is doing the trouble. So because of the reason, when kapha vitiated and it is not vitiated Meda, then it will not produce asymptomatic, or only urinary symptoms will be developed. But urinary symptoms cannot be diagnostic because patient will not approach you. That's why it will go undiagnosed for a long duration of time. But when Medudushti has taken place, person will develop Prameha Puru Rupas like Karapadadaha, Suktata, Kesha Jatili Bhava, etc. I'll explain in the next slide. So, as a Lakshana Vishesha, Prameha is Pururupa Rahita or Pururupa Sahita. What is meant by Pururupa Sahita? Prameha with Pururupas. Pururupa Rahita means Prameha without Pururupas. So, why it happens? Prameha Pururupa Rahita means no vitiation of Medas. Prameha Pururupa Sahita means there is vitiation of Medas. So, if Medas is not vitiated, then it will not produce Pururupas. So this is the important finding which we get in Prameha, and disease will be silent. Okay, so please keep in mind Medo Dushti is obvious, or it is compulsory to produce Pura Rupas of Prameha. So, and based on that, the Sadhya Sadhyata will be there. Like if it is without Pura Rupas, it is Sadhya, and with Purva Rupas, Yapya, and only Vataja Prameha or Krisha Pramehi, or the disease which has Dhatukshayaja or emaciated condition will be Asadhya. So this is how we have to understand the disease Prameha. Okay, Medo Pradustam, Medo Yadi Na Pradustam, Pururupa Sahita, Pururupa Rahita. And when you go to the Sadhya Sadhyata, disease will be Sadhya or Yapya or Asadhya. This much you have to understand before going to the Chikitsa. So what is the Samprapti of Prameha? I go stage wise as it takes place in Prameha. Due to intake of Nidanas, like intake of Shleshma Pradana Ahara or intake of food which is more Shleshma Yukta. Like there is a quotation in Charaka Samhita Chikitsa Sthana, Asya Sukam Swapna Sukam Dadini Gramya Udaka Anuparasa Payamsi Navanna Panam Gudavaikritam Cha Prameha Hetu Kapakritya Sarram. Asya Sukam, the person who always sitting in position, or he always follow the sedentary lifestyle like Asya Sukam Swapna Sukam, always have desire to sleep, will going to increase kapha. And next nidana they have mentioned is Gramya Udaka Anuparasam Payapsi, the mamsarasa or the food which is, or the mamsa which is from the aquatic, or the food which mamsa which comes from the source which is having more watery in nature, and the Gramya Dharma following the sedentary lifestyle of the city areas, like without any strenuous works, even the food which is get easily is going to produce kapha increase. Okay, so whatever the action we do to get the food, we should be get strained. But nowadays what happens is because of development of Prameha, it is one of the reason we are easily getting the food without any strain, and also everything is refined food. Okay, so for easy preparation, this is made like this, and whatever the food we are getting is completely not even though it is animal origin or vegetable origin, which are hybridized, we are getting. This kind of foods is going to increase kapha and ultimately medas, because Shleshma and meda are nearly equal. So in this quotation, one more quotation, it is mentioned that Samana Guna Bhuishtat, yes. So Samana Guna Bhuishtat means medas and kapha are having same qualities. So whenever Shleshma get vitiated, it will turn into, it is ultimately going to vitiate medas. And this kind of diet, as Dravarupi or the liquid portion of the Shleshma has been increased, and the Mutra Sanjanana, okay, there is increase of Mutra also. So Shleshma, Meda and Mutra Sanjanana diet. So the food which is, or the lifestyle which is going to increase kapha or Shleshma, Medas and Mutra is going to produce vitiation of Shleshma. Firstly, this vitiated Shleshma mixes with Medas. Okay, so what happens? Samsarga of Shleshma and Medas takes place. So sa visarpancha visarpan sharire medase vadito mishri bhavam gachti. So okay, Shleshma mixes with Medas. So the Meda which is mixed with Shleshma, which is already aggravated, having Bahu Abaddatva, or it is in more quantity and it is not properly formed Medas. If it is properly formed Medas, there is no problem. But if when it is Abadha Medas or improperly formed Medas, it is not compact, it is improperly formed Medas, hence it is vitiated. Okay, because of Samana Guna Bhuishta, or both the gunas are same, Shleshma and Medas. So it is going to vitiate Medas. Okay, so what happens in the next stage? See, this vitiated Shleshma does vitiation of Medas too. So I think you are getting remembered why I am stressing this point, because This step is very important. When vitiated medas is there, this will going to produce prameha purva rupas. Okay, if this shleshma could not have been disturbed medas, and then it will not produce lakshanas of prameha. Okay, so this step is very important. So they both are vitiated, and in turn they vitiate kleda and mamsa also. Okay, kledata of the body or liquidity of the body, or along with that mamsa, muscles, musculature also will be get vitiated. So what happened initially, due to intake of shleshma, meda and mutra, excess intake of diet which is having shleshma, meda, mutra, initially shleshma dosha vitiated along with other two doshas. This vitiated shleshma mixes with medas, medo dhatu, and vitiates that also, vitiates the medas as they already mixed together in stage 1, and in turn they vitiates kledas and mamsa. Sharira kleda mamsabhyam samsargam bachati. Okay, when they mix up with and produces mamsa vriddhi, kledas and mamsa ati pramana abhivruddhatvat, means in body already kledas has been already increased, because the intake of diet that is more kledakara, or it is more liquid or slimy or snigdha, then that kleda has been increased. Mamsa also increased because it is the nearest dhatu of medas, that is also increased because of the same diet or the nidanas. Ati pramana abhivruddhatvat, means both have been increased in excess, and this medas mixes with these kleda and mamsa, and what happens, this vitiated dosha dushas, all these mamsa, kleda, sorry, meda, kapha, kleda, everything get ashraya in mamsa, so sthana samshaya in mamsa. When sthana samshaya in mamsa takes place, ultimately it produces Mamsa Pidakas. So hope you have remember the Prameha Pidakas as explained in class 6. Sushrut Charaka has explained in Charaka Chikitsa and Sutrasthana also. Whereas Sushruta has contributed a separate chapter for Prameha Pidakas. They are Mamsam Mamsa Pradoshat. Due to Mamsa Pradosha Visheshan, Puti Mamsa Pidakas or Prameha Pidakas will be developed. Sharavika, Kachapikadya, Sanjanayati, Aprakriti Bhutatvat. Okay, this is called upper stage of Prameha. Okay, what happened? So the medas, vitiated medas and kapha vitiates kleda mamsa, which is already excess, already increased, and the sthana samshaya in mata produces pidakas in the body. This is due to mamsa vitiation along with vitiation of medas and kapha. Okay, so this is the stage 2. Okay, last stage, stage 3. Stage 3 is, so I already said kledas is also more increased. So kledas have Guru Guna and it goes to Basti and it has downward movement, and it goes to the Mutravaha Srotas. Mutravaha Srotasam Vankshanam Basti. Okay, so the sthana of or the Sthana of Mutrava Srotas is Vangshan and Basti. So this increased kleda go to the Basti Mukha or go to the bladder, and it produces excessive mutra, is called as Bahumutrata. Okay, hope you understood what are the steps involved in Prameha. First step is vitiation of kapha and mixes with meda. This vitiated meda mixed shleshma and meda, in turn shleshma will vitiate medas as they are both close together. They are very nearer in their characteristic features, and later what happens, this shleshma and medas in turn vitiates kledas and mamsa, which is already increased in excess, and takes sthana samshaya in mamsa, produces mamsa pidakas. They are Sharavika, Kachapika, Jalini, Sarshapi, Alaji, Vinata, Vidrati. And 3 more explained by Sushruta are Masurini, Putriki, and Putrini, and Vidarika. So this is the presentation of Prameha. After Kleda Dushana is excess, they go to the Mutra Marga and produces Bahuta and Avila Mutrata. So hope you understood Samprapti. So what happens when Meda Yadi Pradushtam, when the more Medas is vitiated, development of Pururupas and Puti Mamsa Pidakas will be seen. Okay, so Pratama Avastha, Shleshma Meda Samsarga, Dvitiya Avastha or second stage, Shleshma Meda Dushya Samsarga and Visheshan, and Tritiya Avastha, Sharira Kleda Dushana, and lastly Samprapti of Prameha manifest. This is due to Medu Yadi Pradushtam. So yes, I told about Medu Yadi Pradushtam give rise to Pururupas or premonitory symptoms of Prameha. They are, as explained in class 6, Jatili Bhava Kesheshu or mating of the hair will be there. Tarapadayo Suptata Daha, burning, numbness in hands and feet. Right? This is one of the premonitory symptom of Prameha. Alasya or laziness, Tandra, drowsiness, Malakaya or dirtiness in the body, Kaya Chidreshu Upadeham, excessive excreta in palate, tongue, teeth, etc. Nidra, sleepiness, Visram Sharira Gandha, excessive setting and foul smelling of the body. And Mukatalu Kanta Shosha, dryness of mouth, palate and throat. Pipasa, thirst. Shat Pipilikabi, Sancharam, Mutrabi Saranam, attraction of insects and ants on the body and urine are the Pururupas of Prameha due to Medu Yadi Pradushtam. Okay, so this is very important for your understanding. And again, in this also Avarana pathology may be there that you have to differentiate based on the symptoms I have given in the previous slides. Next one more is Medo Yadina Pradushtam. If Medas is not vitiated in Prameha, then there is no Prameha Pururupas. Okay, if Medas is not vitiated, that is the Dvitiya Avastha has been missed, then there is no development of Prameha Pururupas. And but other symptoms will be like Kleda Dushana will be there, and urinary symptoms will develop. That is the Mutra Marga Janya Kleda will increase and it will be passed to the urine. That is called Atimutrata. So everything to put together. So hello. Metabolic disorder, diabetes mellitus can be considered as Medu Yadi Pradushtam, Pururupa Sahita. And when without any Medu Pradushta is not there, which is Pururupa Rahita, can be correlated with the urinary symptoms. Silent nature of nephropathy can be taken. So, moving on to the Sadhya Sadhyata. What can be, what type of Prameha is Sadhya, what is not Sadhya? So, if Kafaja Prameha without Pururupas are easily manageable, and Kafaja and Pittaja with Vatanubandha, that is Avaranaja pathology which I have explained, that is Pittavrata and Kafavrata or Kafa Pittavrata Madhumeha is Sadhya. And what is Yapya, or it is just a manageable condition, that is Yapya and Pratyakya. Pittaja Prameha without Pururupas is Yapya. Pratyakya is Pittaja Prameha with Pururupas is very difficult to manage. Just we are going through the disease, but we can't get any successful results just managing the condition. And Vataja Prameha where Dhatukshaya stage is there, which is Asadhya. Okay, this is the Sadhya Sadhyata of Prameha. Okay, based on this, the treatment plan should be done. So, previous to Shodhana should be done. There are two types of Prameha as I explained previously, Stula Pramehi and Krisha Pramehi. So, in Stula Pramehi, if he is Balavan or the obese diabetic or the obese Prameha with more Bala or the strong power has to be treated with Shodhana when the more doshas have been aggravated. So Shodhana should be done in obese type of Prameha. That is the quotation, Stula Pramehi Balavani Haika. Okay, when the patient is Stula or obese and he is Balavan or strong enough to withhold the Shodhana, can be treated with Shodhana. Okay, Whereas Krisha, or the person who is not strong or is emaciated or is Sahaja Pramehi, he cannot be treated with Shodhana as it is contraindicated for him, can be treated with Brahmana therapy because he is already emaciated, should be given with Brahmana therapy or nourishing therapy, followed by Shamana Chikitsas like Manta or Gruyels, Kashaya Prayogas, and usage of Yava and Lehas and Lagu Bhaksha or dishes has to be prepared which is Lagu in nature, should be given in Krish Pramehi. Also, Pana or drinks and food habits which is processed with food items which is processed with honey, Kapitta drug, Maricha, etc. should be given. And one of the theory of Krisha Pramehi management is Pana Bhojana or the food and dietetics which are desired by the patient. Okay, the person who is which is desired by the patient, what he desires should be given, which is not Prameha Viruddha. Okay, so the Prameha Viruddha diet should not be given, but it should be desired by the patient, has to be administered to Krisha Pramehi or the person who is emaciated. Prameha, which is emaciated person. Okay, so in this section, in Krisha Pramehi, no involvement of Shodhana as he is emaciated. Brahmana should be done, and Shamana Chikitsa or the internal medicines or internal dietetics and food style should be followed, which include mantas, kashayas, yava, prayoga, barley, lehas and lagu bhakshas. So the food is made into, or the diet which is made into different dishes can be given here, and drugs which is processed with, or the drinks and diets which is processed with chaudra, kapitta, maricha, and the desired by the patient which is not prameha viruddha has been administered. So called as krisham tu Satatam Rakshayet means Krisha Pramehi should always be protected. He should not be done with trial and errors. He should be always protected. This is the formula behind Krisha Pramehi. So I struck that Stula Pramehi, if he is Balavan or he is strong enough and more doshas are about to come out or doshas has to be removed from the body, that much aggravation is there, go for Shodhana by doing Snehapana followed by Vamana or Virechana, depend on the symptoms. Okay, so for Snehapanartha, different Tailas and Gritas have been mentioned in class 6. That has to be followed, or Shodhananga Snehapana, called as Shodhananga Snehapana. Before administration of Vamana or Virechana, Shodhana has to be, Snehapana should be done with following Tailas and Gritas. And after Shodhana, person should be given with Santarpana or nutritious or the nourishing diet should be given. He should not be kept emaciated again because diabetic, the Prameha patients are not very strong. Even though there is involvement of doshas are there, but after Shodhana, he will become weak. So immediately after Shodhana, Santarpana diet has to be followed. Okay. So this is the procedure behind Stula Prameha and Krisha Pramehi. Stula Pramehi Balavani Haika. If Stula Pramehi is Balavan and Krishastadaika Paridurgalacha and Krisha Pramehi with Durbalata. Sambranamanam Tatta Krishasya means Krisha Pramehi should be given with Brahmana and Stula Pramehi should be given with Shodhana followed by Santarpana. Okay. So one more thing. If any Anubandha dosha is there, okay, if it is purely Kapaja, Vamana is done. If purely Vataja, Pittaja, Virechana is done. If it is Vatanubandha in Kapha Pittaja Prameha, if it is Kapha associated with Vata, the Kashaya yogas which mitigates Meda and Kapha, Siddha Grata. A Grata is prepared with the Kashaya of Kapaja, Kapahara will be given. If Pitta is vitiated along with Vata, Tailas which mitigates Pitta will be Kashaya yogas which mitigates Pitta will be processed with, and Grita will be, sorry, I just confused you. Grita is indicated in Pittaja avarana, and thyla is indicated in kafaja avarana. Okay, how these gritas and thylas are prepared? These should be processed gritas and thylas by using kashayas of kafajanya, kafahara, and kashayas of pittahara. So, grita kashayas pittahara grita will be prepared for pittaja prameha, and kafaja kashayas using thyla will be prepared for kafaja. Okay, thyla is prepared in kapha, grita is prepared in pitta. So this should be done in avarana. Okay, so I'll just brief out small gist of this topic. I'll explain you. Stula pramehi, shodhana will be done. Shodhana followed by santarpana should be done. And if any avarana pathology is there, the selection of gritas and thylas should be processed gritas and thylas. Grita is given in pitta, thyla is given in kapha, but this grita and thylas are processed with kaphara kashayas and pittahara kashayas. Hope this thing is important, which will do the vata shamana and also kapha pittahara. Okay, so this is the selection in Shodhana Chikitsa of Prameha. So Shodhana should be Vamana or Virechana using thylas and gritas. Okay, here we are not giving much Shamana Chikitsa in terms of churnas or levas. Here we are giving increased amount of thylas or gritas and given Vamana or Virechana. And next treatment mentioned in Sushruta Samhita is after 7 days of Virechana. Virechana Nantaram Saptaratrat Parataha. After Virechana, 7 days, with a gap of 7 days, we have to give Niruha Basti, or called as Astapana. Basti should be given with Surasadigana Kashaya, with Shumti, Devadaru, Musta and Saindava This combination will be given for Shodhanartha after Virechana in Prameha, that too Stula Prameha. Please remember, Shodhanas, all Shodhanas were conducted in Stula Pramehi or Avaranaja Prameha. Okay, another yoga, Negrodadi Kashaya Siddha Astapana Basti can also be given. Okay, there are Pancha Yogas or 5 yogas are explained by Sushruta for the purpose of post Shodhana nourishment or to control the Prameha. He has explained 5 yogas after Shodhana, that is Amlaki Haridra with Madhu, Trifala Vishala Devadaru Mustakashaya, Shala Kampillaka Mushkaka with Madhu, Nimba Aragvada Saptaparna Murva Kutaja Soma Vriksha and Palasha with Madhu has been administered, and Kutaja Kapikta Rohitaka Vibitaka Saptaparna with Madhu. These are the Pancha Yogas has to be administered in a due course of time after Shodhana. Here, based on the symptoms of the presentation of the patient, you can select any yogas. Okay, so the first formulation might have known by you. It is available in market as a abundantly. That is Amlaki with Haridra will be given. Is Nisha Amlaki tablets or Nisha Amlaki Churna is one of the famous drug available, can be taken for the after Shodhana. Body cleansing is important, or detoxification of the body is important before giving Shamana Chikitsa. So these are the Shamana Yogas has been explained after for administration after Shodhana. So I told Shodhanottara Tarpana is very important. If you don't give Shodhanottara Tarpana, person will develop Gulma, Kshaya, Basti Shula, Mutra Graha, etc. Apatarpana Janya Vyadhis. Okay, so person should be get Tarpana, or he should get nourishment through diets. So for that purpose, Charaka and Sushruta has explained different kind of Yava preparations. Goduma or wheat sevana, dishes prepared out of kashayas mentioned in Kafaja Prameha, and Jangala Mamsarasa will be given. So these are the Shodhanottara Tarpana explained in class 6. So this is very important part after Shodhana, it has to be administered. So I explained about 20 types of Prameha which manifest in diabetes. 20 types of prameha due to kapha, pitta and vataja dosha visheshan. So just I'll go through this. I'll not explain in detail. This will be a big chapter which I can explain in future classes. Udaka meha is one variety of. There are about 10 types of kapaja prameha. They are Udaka meha, Ikshvalika rasa meha, Sandra meha, Sandra prasada meha, Shukla meha, Shukra meha, Shita meha, Sikata meha, Shanair meha, Alala meha, Kshara meha. So from Kshara meha, these are Pittaja prameha types. Kshara, Tala meha, Neela meha, Lohita meha or Rakta meha, Manjishta meha, Haridra meha. And now we are moving on to the Vataja prameha types. Vasa meha, Majja meha, Hasti meha and features of Madhumeha. So see, from Udaka meha, these are all Kapaja type of prameha. We can correlate the different stages of diabetic nephropathy. Initially, incipient nephropathy will be there, and later it goes to microalbuminuria and macroalbuminuria. What happens is, due to urinary symptoms without vitiation of Medas, initially they will develop silent features, that is the diabetic nephropathy features, because in diabetic nephropathy there is no symptoms. The diabetic nephropathy is purely asymptomatic. Only when you go to the investigations or urinary symptoms are there, you will identify what the pathology has been taken place. So we can correlate Kapaja prameha into different stages of nephropathy. So here see, incipient nephropathy has taken place and albuminuria started, GFR declines. Like that, the different stages where renal parenchyma damage started developing. So obstruction pathology and with retrograde ejaculation also sometimes takes place. Shukra meha. Glycosuria also started developing. Shita meha with the glycosuria. Sikata meha. Shanair meha. Alala meha. Lipoprotein started in the urine. And now when you go to the end, since it is mentioned that damage has taken place, inflammation starts, and this is called Pittaja prameha, Kshara meha, only urinary symptoms, Pittaja prameha not as a whole, urinary symptoms, Kshara meha develops, there is blood mixed with the urine and develops blackish urine or Kshara type of urine. Kala meha, another stage of that. Neela meha, there is urinary tract infection starts, and Rakta meha, that is altered pH of the urine with bleeding, producing Lohita meha, and Manjishta meha, just another feature of that Rakta meha only, because of precipitating bleeding due to infection. And infection which turns into Haridra meha or pyogenic infection. And now we are moving to Vataja prameha, last stage. Okay, these are the stepwise occurrence. First Kapaja meha developed, next Pittaja meha developed, and lastly Vataja meha. Here the nephropathy is progressed and lipids start to leak into the urine and leading to nephropathy. Majja meha is another stage of that. Hasti meha, and lastly Madhumeha. Madhumeha can be complication of prameha which leading to ketoacidosis features can be correlated. Along with that, if symptoms are there, then it is chronic stage of type 2 diabetes mellitus. So in classics, that is in Sushruta Samhita, there is for 20 types of prameha, 20 types of kashayas have been explained. If we are able to understand that some symptoms of urinary symptoms of that Kapaja, Pittaja and prameha 10, 6 and 5 types of pramehas, you can able to manage with following kashayas. But in practice, when you look into this, initially, whatever the kashayas told for the Kapaja prameha, can be given if kapha dominant features are there, are getting good results, and at the same time when inflammation signs are more, this Pittaja Prameha Kashayas are giving results, and at the same time if Vata is more, these Kashayas are giving good results. So this is how the Kapaja Prameha has to be, Kapaja Pittaja and Vataja Prameha has to be managed. And for added to this, these kashayas are important for your entrance point of view. If you are a UG graduates, you have to by heart which kashaya is given in which type of prameha. So hope you are getting my point. Like Neela Meha is there, Sala Saladi Kashaya, Haridra Meha, Raja Vriksha Kashaya or Aragvada Kashaya, Amla Meha, Negrodadi Kashaya, Shonita Meha, sorry, Manjista Meha. It is very easy. Manjista Meha, Manjista Chandana Kashaya is given. Shonita Meha, Guduchadi Kashaya, Udaka Meha, like that. One Mehas, one Kashaya preparation is told. Try to bahar this and it will be useful for your future references, like that, different Kashayas. Some of the Kashaya yogas which are told, as I told that Gritas or Tailas will be prepared out of Kashayas, and if Kapaja Prameha is there, Taila will be prepared out of these Kashaya yogas. And if Pittaja Prameha is there, Grita will be prepared out of following ingredients. Okay, so Grita will be prepared out of Haridra, Lashuna, Amlaki, Phala Kashaya. In the same way, this also can be used, and Pata, Shodamshta, Murva Kashaya can also be used. If Vatanubandha is there, that time you have to do this procedure. Okay. In Pittaja Prameha, these kind of kashayas like Patola, Nimba, Amlaki, Amrita or Guduchi Kashaya will be Kashaya will be prepared, and Grita is processed Grita will be prepared out of this Pittahara Kashayas. This is the procedure behind preparation of Grita and Tailas using this Kashaya yogas. Okay. So there are some preparations which is useful in all type of prameha like Triphala, Daru Haridra, Vishala, Mustakwata, Nisha Kalka. Kwata is prepared with Madhu, is applicable for all type of prameha as explained in Prameha Chikitsa of Charaka Samhita. Along with that, we can also give some kashayas like Veera Tarvadi Kashaya, Kataka Kadiradi Kashaya, Asanadi Kashaya, Nisha Katakadi Kashaya. See this Kataka Kadiradi, Asanadi, Nisha Katakadi, all these are explained in Sahasra Yoga. So when you look into this Asanadi Kashaya, this is useful in Avarana Janya Prameha, and Kataka Kadiradi Kashaya is helpful in kidney function is impaired or kidney dysfunction when patient is passing proteinuria or microalbuminuria or macroalbuminuria, or the serum creatinine levels are increased. Kataka Kadiradi Kashaya will help along with Chandra Prabhavati. Jambu Asava, Madhvasava, Lodrasava are the choices. This Asavarishta practice is little difficult because patient will get sweet taste in the medicine and start developing some wrong information, or they start arguing with the doctors or the physicians that it is there, it contains some so and so. Okay, sweet, refined sugars, whatever. But the usage of little quantity might not have any because it is already processed, will not give much difference. But anyhow, for safety point of view, you have to use the drugs in prameha in such a way that in ethical way, so that you will not be in trouble. So these are the important yogas in prameha. So surprisingly, Sushruta about 1000 years ago has told about exercises in Samhita. He beautifully explains different vyayamas. He says Anganam Vividha Prakara Ayama. Okay, different body stretching exercises has been explained in Sushruta Samhita, and current practice is also like that. And current generation is going to gym and do all exercises has been explained so many years ago by Sushruta. Or Niyuddha or Bahu Yuddha has been explained, or wrestling and Krida, different sport activities. Gaja Turajacharya, Ratha Padaticharya. These are the practice of olden days, since the animals were residing in the residence especially this might be told for Rajas or those days the treatments were told for only those position who are doing ruling us. They for them this kind of treatment or the vyayamas have been told like animal riding, walking, etc. Parikramana or brisk walking is also told by Sushruta, which is very much applicable in the present day practice. And so same explanation has been available in shloka. So Vyayama yoge vivide pragade udvartane. So some of the measures along with Vyayama, Charaka has added some external therapies like pragada udvartana can be told as brisk massage or the dry powder massage on the body is one of the Kapahara treatment has been told by Charaka, and also Snana, Jala Avasechana, and some of the lepas using Agaru Chandana has also been included in the Vihara of Prameha. So Shodhana, Shamana, Chikitsa along with Viharas have been beautifully explained in classics, will be very much applicable to the present day context and can be practiced very fruitfully so that you will get the results. Only thing is patience from the doctor side and patient side is required to treat it accordingly. So some of the payers told in Prameha like Kadira Sarodaka, Kadira Sara will be prepared and Jala prepared out of it, Pushodaka, Madhudaka, Trifala Udaka, etc. So these are the payas. Whenever you feel thirsty, you can use these payas as a routine. Then it will be useful instead of taking any fruit juices, etc. These can be taken in between and it will be useful, and it is also weight loss diet. Okay. So anyhow, if you follow everything, it will be fine. But if you don't follow anything, bird has a chance to come to the nest. So it may trouble you again. So be careful while if you are developed with that, and you have to explain the patient. So holistic approach going to bring back the sweetness in life, not the sugar or other food items. You should bring a holistic approach is only helpful in the to bring back the sweetness in your life. So lastly, use of Pramati Daivyas or the Abhishandi Dravyas has to be Abhishandi Dravyas have to be avoided, and Pramadi and the food and items which does the correction of the body has to be followed. So Agni Moolam Balam. If you keep Agni in proper, all features of Prameha will go. Okay. So any disease, if you take everything starts from Agni, Roga Sarve Api Mandagni. So if you keep Agni Moola proper, everything will be proper. This is the last words I can say. So thank you very much for patient listening. You have any queries? Can be asked.
Thank you, ma'am, for your presentation.
Thank you.
Very informative lecture.
Okay.
Participants, you can ask your
Ma'am,
queries.
I do have one question.
Okay, please tell.
Hello. Is there any correlation of diabetic ketoacidosis in Ayurveda? If there's so, what would be the specific treatment, ma'am?
Ketoacidosis is an emergency condition. I have correlated to one of the type of prameha, Vataja prameha. Okay. But in emergency situation, diabetic ketoacidosis cannot be managed in Ayurveda setup. Okay. No trial and error can be done. It has to be managed in a emergency setup only. Okay.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Yes. Any other? Have you understood the presentation? Any one of you use your mic and can tell me.
Excuse me, ma'am. I have asked one question in the comment section.
Is Robinda is Tunlang Mao?
Yeah. Ma'am, in a clinical practice, how will we differentiate between different types of prameha that has been listed in our textbook? For instance, there are written 20 types of different prameha. So how will we discriminate between the specific types, and how will we know that it is a specific that prameha? Like, is
Yeah.
there any things that can be ruled out from those so that the
Yeah.
treatment would be more easier?
This prameha, urinary symptoms, whatever explained in Kaphaja, Pittaja, and Vataja prameha is there, no?
Yeah.
They sometimes undiagnosed most of the time. Okay. When patient comes to you, they will not explain all the features. Okay. And one more thing is this is a laboratory diagnostic. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
So what happens is a patient will not be understood with what is happening with them, but most of the time when they come to us, will come with the Pururupas or only blood investigations.
Yes,
Okay.
ma'am.
So these urinary symptoms most of the time could not be able to diagnose, but some patients only few of the symptoms we identify like blood in the urine or increased RBCs, and also Shukrameha, okay, spermaturia. These can be understood, and accordingly we have to treat. Like if it is Kaphaja type of treatment has to be done, and Pittaja, and if it is Vataja type of treatment. But chronicity increases, it goes to Asadhya, and then it is difficult to take. Okay.
Okay, thank you, ma'am.
Ma'am,
Yes, tell me.
the cough prameha you explained during chikitsa, that is ultimately the kapha-abrita, isn't it?
Yeah, there are two types I explained. One is Apatya Nimittaja, where Avarana is there, Pittavrita, Kaphavrita, or Kapha
Mm-mm.
Pittavrita. Yes?
Yes.
Okay. If
Excuse me, ma'am.
Avarana symptoms will be seen. Okay?
Okay.
Okay.
So, ma'am, excuse me, I also have another
Yes.
question.
Ah.
So, there are various complications of diabetes mellitus.
Yeah.
So, is there any specific treatment that we can help in order to tackle the complications? For example, various neuropathies, and
Yeah.
for example, gangrenes and everything like that.
Okay, actually, good question. Actually, I have not covered this part today. Okay, because of time being, the complication stage has been not covered. If I get the chance, I can explain you in future times. Okay, neuropathy, where the based on the symptoms and what kind of avarana has taken place, we have to treat accordingly. Like Daha is more right in
Yes.
neuropathy, patient will
Yeah.
present burning, tingling, numbness, kind of features. Accordingly, you have to treat. If numbness is more, it is told as kapha avarana.
Yes,
Okay,
ma'am.
or if shula is more or dhatuksheja symptoms, muscle weakness is there in diabetic neuropathy, that can be understood as rasayani daurbalya. Okay, so
Mm-hmm.
accordingly we have to treat. I think I need much time to explain everything, like how to treat in these conditions, external therapies, internal medications, and what kind of bustis can be practiced in neuropathy is a big chapter. Okay, and in the
Okay.
same time, nephropathy is also one of the big chapter to be dealt. Okay, and retinopathy is also one of the complications, which
Yes,
is
ma'am.
related with the Kaya Chikitsa, can be managed from the Shalakit bed. So in this way, we treat the condition. So I think that will be a nice presentation if it is explained properly. Okay, thank you very
Okay.
much.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you very much.
Any other queries, please?
Um, can we, like, side by side, can we use modern medications? For example, if a patient has a very severe blood glucose level, for example, 300, so can we use modern medicine side by side just in case as an insurance or an assurance for a patient? Like, is it?
Yeah, I think there's very much good scope in managing diabetes, but hope you should understand what is the HbA1c of the patient. Okay, so glycosylated hemoglobin will tell you how much glucose is under control for a long duration of time. Okay, so HbA1c should be under control. If it is more than 9, 10, you can't manage in Ayurveda independently. Along with the modern, we can side by side give the Ayurveda medicines. But if it is below 8, if patient is able to manage his diet and lifestyle, then Ayurveda drug will help. Okay, individually drug cannot be helpful. So along with the medicines, diet and lifestyle intervention is also important. So whole system protocol will be helpful in the management of diabetes. With the HbA1c is the one important parameter which has to be taken in mind, because If it is more than 9 or 10, alone Ayurveda cannot be possible. So it should be controlled through modern medicines. But as an adjacent or add-on protocol, we can give Ayurveda medicines and we can see the result. Provided patient should be proper listener. Okay, he follows diet or not, he is doing exercise or not, his lifestyle is good or not, he is stressful or not, sorry, stress free or not, and he is following a proper diet and sleep. Everything is important in diabetes. It is a lifestyle disease. Only drug or only medicines cannot be helpful. He should be properly managed with all these, then only we can control diabetes. Okay.
Ma'am,
Yes.
pre-diabetes is also condition emerging as silent killer. Can you see signs of Purvarup of diabetes treatment? Purvarup.
Yeah, Pururupas of Prameha like Karapadadaha, Suttata, etc. is mentioned, no? We have to understand it in whether it is Kaphaja predominant or Pittaja predominant or it is purely Vataja. That you have to categorize. Okay? If patient is feeling Daha, then it is Pitta predominant. If patient has Suttata or numbness, then it is Kapha dominant. So accordingly, like that, if it is weakness is more, then it is Vata dominant. So in this way, categorize the symptoms and accordingly give the treatment. Okay. So in this way, you have to treat.
We can treat in Purvarup state any special medication for it?
Yeah, Pururupa is the established stage of diabetes. Okay. So in diabetes, whatever the Pururupa told are exactly diabetes. So established medicines are like based on the dosha you have to analyze. If kapha is more, you have to give some Tikta Kashaya Pradhana. Pitta is more Shita Pradhana, and along with that Tikta Rasa Pradhana. Like that, drug should be selected. And currently in practice, like usage of Meshashringi, usage of Nisha or Haridra, Amlaki, Guduchi, Sariva, okay, Vasanta Kusumakar Rasa. So plenty of drugs are Kapika Chuchurna, like that there are plenty of Chandra Prabhavati, okay, so many drugs are there, Asanadi Kashaya. So these are the drugs should be selected, depend on the symptoms, okay. So you have to analyze the symptoms, accordingly you have to treat. If Dhatukshaya is more, Rasayana drugs told in Ayurveda like Shilajatu Rasayana, Guduchi Rasayana, Tuvaraka Rasayana, like that the drugs will be selected, okay.
Okay, ma'am. Any other queries, please? I think the queries is over.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank
Thank you for giving me an opportunity to be here. Thank you very much.
Thank you, ma'am, for your valuable time. Now we wrap up our lecture series. Thank you, everyone, for attending the class. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.